Kelly Party at 2. Today we are giving you our review on Noche Mexican BBQ.
Yeah, it's down in the Highlands. It's a really cool place. It's in an old church, cathedral type building. Giant stone building, stained glass windows. I mean, beautiful place. You'll see in the pictures in the video. It's a really neat place. I've had a couple friends of mine tell me about it. A buddy of mine, Castleman, had told me they've been there 2 or 3 times. He highly recommended it. So finally, we were able to make it down there this past Sunday.
And we did make a reservation.
Yeah. They're doing, I don't even think it's 50% seating. It was pretty empty. They had the tables spread out everywhere. You didn't have to have a reservation. The people who didn't have one, they could sit outside, or they had to wait about 20 minutes. And we went Sunday at about 3 o'clock. So I would say if you went later in the evening, you probably need a reservation because they're not seating a whole lot of people. I would have been fine sitting outside, but it was about 60, 65 degrees and, you know, a little bit...
the wife gets cold.
A little bit windy and she gets a little bit cold. So we sat inside. It's a really neat place. It's got a big open kitchen so you can sit there and watch them cook and watch your food come up and things like that. It's Mexican barbecue. I didn't know that was a thing. It's really not. It's just a Mexican place that has a few barbecue things. It's not like a different style of food. That's kind of what I was hoping for, but it's not. But it's a really neat place. We'll go over what we ate, and then we'll talk about whether we recommend it or not. You want to go ahead and start off?
Sure. We got 2 different kinds of salsa. They had about, 6 or 7?
Yeah, they had quite a few different sauces.
We got the salsa verde, and then we got their mildest salsa.
It's called salsa classica, which is just their base mild salsa. They have heat levels on the menu next to the salsa. We got the 1 because she can't really handle the hot stuff, and it was a red salsa. And then we got the number 2. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a green salsa.
Right.
And both of the sauces were really, really good. I would take a bite of the red one and think, yeah, this one's my favorite. And then I would take a bite of the green one. No, this one's my favorite. And kept going back and forth.
The chips are really good too.
Yeah, the chips were good, crispy, had a good amount of salt on them. But both of them sauces were amazing. I would like to go back and try some of the hotter ones. But both sauces, both sauces were delicious. I wish
lots of alcohol, lots of drinks.
Well, they had like 85 different tequilas.
Oh my gosh, it was ridiculous.
They had a list of all their different tequilas, and it was crazy. I mean, we're not big hardcore drinkers. I like a beer every now and then. She'll do like the girly drinks, but if you're like a tequila person, they've got a bunch.
Yeah. So this, I think, is the level 1 was the El
Samuel was the green salsa we got, and then the level 0 is the El Clasica. So
and the Clasica was thicker, not chunky. I don't want to say chunky, but it was thicker.
Yeah, it wasn't chunky, but it was thick. If that makes sense.
It was really good.
It wasn't like real runny like you get like at El Nepal and some of those places.
Right.
And then for an appetizer, we got their barbecued pulled pork nachos, and these things were huge. They full of pork, queso, lot of pickled red onions. You know, that's the new thing now. They're putting pickled red onions and pickled radishes on everything.
I really like the fried jalapenos.
Yeah, they had fried jalapeno chips on there.
Straight jalapeno, they fried them.
Yeah.
And it did have onions. It had a cabbage mix, cilantro, pickled onion, and chipotle crema.
Yeah.
The crema was really good. I wish they would have had a little bit more on there.
Yeah.
And the chili con queso, I wish they would have had a little bit more of that as well. We did end up getting a side of queso.
Yeah, we did get a side of queso.
And it was really good as well.
It's one of the top quesos around.
And it was heavy on the cilantro, which I've said before is not usually my thing, but it worked. It was really good.
Yeah, the queso has a little bit of a kick. It's got like some poblano peppers and some green chilies and different things in it. But these nachos, the barbecue sauce on their pulled pork is...
one of the best I've had.
Yeah, I mean, I took one bite and I told her, I was like, oh my God, this barbecue sauce is amazing.
Yeah, we're barbecue snobs, so.
Yeah, it's an amazing barbecue sauce on their pulled pork.
It was really good.
The nachos were huge. They were fresh. The chips held up. They didn't break. They didn't get soggy. Great appetizer. I had to tell her at a few points to stop.
Don't tell people that.
Because we had, more food coming, a lot more food coming.
Wait a minute. In my defense,
she was just going to town.
In my defense, I got the Noche Burrito. and I asked for no onions and peppers because, and they did. It was like chunks of onion and chunks of peppers.
Yeah, they weren't like diced up; they were huge.
So, and mine came with that stuff in it, so I had to send it back while he was eating. So yeah, I kept eating chips.
Yeah,
that's when he told me to stop.
Yeah. So when her burrito came out, she ate about that much of it because
that's true.
she destroyed the nachos and the salsa.
But let me get back to the burrito. So the burrito, you can have your choice of meat: chicken, tinga, fajita chicken, carne asada, brisket, carnitas, pulled pork, or vegan ground beef. And it is stuffed with rice, refried beans, fajita, peppers and onions, and their 3-cheese blend. It can also come with guacamole if you want it. I did not. And it's served with salsa and mole of your choice, and you can add queso.
Yeah. So she left off the mole, but she added the queso.
And I took out the peppers and onions, and it
Yeah.
did come right the second time.
Yeah, and
Not
it was
a big
fast.
Deal. It happens a lot.
They brought the new one out really fast.
It was a good size. It was delicious.
It was a big burrito. It looked good. It was grilled all the way around. It wasn't just wrapped in a tortilla and brought out there like you get like at Tumbleweed or something.
Well, and you know how sometimes when you get a burrito, and this is a lot of times why I don't order it, is the chicken, especially when it's chicken. Some of the pieces aren't seasoned.
Yeah.
Like it's a mixture inside the burrito. What bite you're gonna get? Either you're gonna get a flavorful bite or you're gonna get a bite with nothing.
Yeah.
This thing was packed full of flavor. I wish I would have not been as full on the chips and appetizers.
It was an amazing burrito, and I never get burritos either, especially at places like Qdoba or Moe's, because the way they make them, you take one bite and you get all rice and sour cream.
Right.
And then you take a bite on the other side, and then that's where all your meat is. You never get a bite.
Or all tortilla.
Yeah. You never get one bite that has everything in it.
Yeah.
So I hardly ever get burritos either. But
highly recommend this burrito.
It was an outstanding burrito.
Yep.
I mean, it was delicious.
And they have quite a few things on the menu, but I would get this again.
Yeah. If we go back, I would have a hard time not getting that burrito, even though what I got was amazing. I got the I didn't get the carne asada. I got the carnitas plate. And so basically, carnitas is big chunks of pork that have been marinated in orange juice and other spices. And I could have got the carnitas tacos, but instead I got the plate. So basically they just bring you everything on a plate and you make your own tacos. And I like doing that better myself.
Yeah.
The pork was flavorful, juicy, tender. I think I probably had 5 tacos.
Yeah, he let me have a bite while I was waiting on my burrito.
Yeah.
He's such a good guy.
Yeah, and
it was good.
we had the queso and the sauces on the table, so I was putting those on there along with sour cream and some of the cabbage spread. The carnitas was delicious. Again, it was recommended by my friend Castleman. He told me to try them, so I did, and he was right. They were absolutely amazing. And then we got like 4 different sides.
We only got
3.
2.
We got the refried beans. We got the
Aquitas.
We got the aquitas, which is basically
right. We got those.
it's basically street corn off the cob in a bowl, and then we got the papas frites, which are steak fries tossed in garlic aioli, and then topped with
garlic oil,
cotija cheese, and then roasted pepper sauce.
Yeah.
The fries, those papas fritas, pretty disappointed in them. I think they were baked because they had no crunch. They were kind of soggy, and the pepper sauce didn't have much flavor.
The stuff on top, like I would have rather had a poblano sauce to dip them in, but they put it on top, and so the fries weren't crunchy already.
No, I think they were baked.
It made them even soggier, and it just
they weren't.
And the flavor wasn't there.
I ate one, didn't eat anymore. They weren't good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you read the description and you're like, oh my God, these are going to be delicious. Right. And they were just limp, soggy, baked potatoes. They weren't good.
And then we got the Mexican style street corn.
The esquites.
Which is off the cob.
Yeah, which is basically elote or Mexican street corn off the cob.
Let's see, it says mayo, roasted poblano sauce, cotija cheese, and the Noche spice blend, which seems to be on everything.
It had an okay flavor, but it was real thin and runny. It wasn't like a thicker corn. It was just so much of the sauce was in there. It was just like real wet.
Yeah, I think the one that you make is a lot creamier.
The best in the world. The one I make is the best in the world.
In Copper Streetery, theirs too is in Panchitos. All of theirs are a creamy based, and this was water based.
Yeah.
This is like they didn't drain the corn can.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was white and yellow corn.
Yeah,
correct?
I did like the fact that it was white and yellow corn because you had that sweet in there, and it had a decent flavor. It was just
it wasn't bad.
It was runny.
It wasn't what I expected.
Yeah. It needed to be a little bit thicker, but it wasn't awful. It was nowhere near as bad as those steak fries were.
Yeah, and then the refried beans.
And then we got the refried beans, and they're just refried beans.
Total disappointment.
Yeah,
no flavor.
Just plain, like open up a can, dump it down, and melt some cheese on it. I mean, there was no flavor, no spice, not just super bland, super plain.
So as awesome as their entrees were,
and we run into this problem all the time. You go somewhere and your entree is amazing and all the sides are average, or all the sides are amazing and your entree is average. And this was no exception. I mean, we've been to several places.
That's not the case.
That's not the case. The Eagle was amazing.
Yeah.
A couple other ones, Agave and Rye, Cask. I mean, those places, everything was great.
And it's not that the stuff was bad. It's just you want flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hear Mexican barbecue, I want either a Mexican flavor or I want some barbecue flavor.
Yeah, you still want bland,
Yeah.
And we're not picky. We're not like, food review people in magazines. We just want something that tastes good and has flavor, not something that we think, okay, we could have opened a can and done this at home, a lot cheaper. But service was great. Atmosphere was awesome. The nachos, the salsa, her burrito, my carnitas. I mean, everything was amazing except for those three sides. And the corn wasn't, the corn was okay. Yeah. But the other two just honestly was a waste of money, and won't order those two again. No. But we'll definitely be back.
Plenty of sides, so we could. Yeah, there are other things.
Plenty of sides to choose from.
And we're not so bad to write people off for their sides.
Yeah, no, we'll just try something different.
Right.
But absolutely recommend it. We will absolutely go back. And we will take people there, and we will tell people to go there because the food really is good.
Chris mentioned the service, and yes, my burrito came out wrong, and I probably would have sat there and ate it. Chris made sure I sent it back, mainly because I couldn't have taken a bite without a big bite of onion or pepper. And they were so apologetic.
Yeah, 2 or 3 different people came over and apologized.
And so, we already know that so many of these restaurants are struggling to even have staff.
Yeah,
it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, and we weren't rude. We just said, hey, it's got onions and peppers in it, and
he apologized.
We told him, we get it. This stuff happens all the time. No big deal. We weren't rude about it, and they were great. And
that's what makes good service too. Mistakes are going to happen.
Yeah.
You just have to be gracious and willing, to fix it, and they were. And so I give them props for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We would definitely go back. And just atmosphere alone, guys. This place is gorgeous.
It's really
with their
cool.
stained glass windows.
It's really cool. You could get some awesome pictures outside.
Yeah.
But we did not do any dessert.
I don't think they had a dessert menu. I did.
We were so full.
I looked just to see because
I was so full I didn't even think about dessert, but apparently she looked.
Well, I looked for you because you usually want dessert, if we were to take it home.
I was stuffed, but I
don't think they have dessert. I didn't see anything on the menu.
But we will definitely be back, and we highly recommend it. And
I would like to go back and sit on the patio. They have heaters, and it's completely covered.
Yeah. It's a really cool place. So. I'm not sure where we are going next, but I know our next couple videos will probably be here cooking some stuff. If you got somewhere you want us to try, let us know in the comments or send us an email. As always, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and hit the bell for notifications. And until then, we will see you in the next one. Thanks.
Bye, guys.